If I asked you to write your entire brand strategy, your emails, your one-liner, your website, how long do you think that would take you? Would it take a week, a month, an entire mental breakdown? Now, what if I told you there is a tool that claims that it can do all of that in minutes? And today we're going to find out if that's true or not. If you've done anything in marketing, you've probably come across Donald Miller and the StoryBrand framework. He puts out a lot of content and he's considered to be one of the leading standards for marketing. He has trained an AI to replicate his expertise, but in a way that it can create what you need in a very short span of time. But does it actually work, or is it just going to come out with generic AI slop? I'm going to put a real business idea through the StoryBrand AI tool and test if it is worth your cash and your time. All right, so before we see the magic, let's talk about what we're working with. I have a business idea from a founder who has been thinking about this idea, but she hasn't put anything into market yet. So this is the perfect candidate for this tool, because if this tool knows what it's doing, it should be able to take the broad outline we're putting in and come back with a really clear marketing strategy. All right, so let's start with creating a BrandScript. So her concept is essentially there's a lot of different tools around productivity and mindfulness, but for some people, especially neurodivergent people, that can be really problematic because those kind of tasks become quite high pressure and they can add to the stress rather than reduce. So her business's emphasis on the pause, the quiet moments, not having pressure. It's an interesting take on a really popular market. So what I really want to see is, can StoryBrand AI actually pick up that nuance, or whether it's going to spit out something that is going to be very much regurgitating what's already popular in quite a saturated market. It's asking me what your company name is, what products and services do you offer, who's your target audience, what's the main problem, unique characteristics, credibility, or specific steps. These are some really basic questions. So if nothing else, just doing this as a loading prompt is a good exercise. Let's see the magic. If you're not familiar with Donald Miller's work, he talks about a 7-step process. It starts with a character, your hero, your customer, who then meets a guide. That guide gives them a plan, action, and result from that. This is the moment of truth. This is what StoryBrand thinks that this business should sound like. As I read this out, I want you to be thinking, does this sound like an expert wrote it? Or does this just sound like ChatGPT had a pretty standard day? Let's find out. We'll start with the controlling idea. It's got embracing intentional pauses with thoughtfully designed experiences that bring clarity and calm. Yep, I mean, that's fairly accurate. Okay, so it hasn't captured it. Our thoughtfully designed products offer a unique, pause-first approach to self-care that respects your busy life. Now, I just want to jump back because I want to check if that was in the initial prompt or if that is something that BrandScript has generated. Obviously, the initial prompt did talk about this idea of pausing and taking a moment, but this has pulled it together in a concise, clear way. So I don't think the term pause first was used in any of the prompting, but that's a really good way to capture the underlying sentiment of what she is trying to achieve with this product and service. Let's keep going. That last line is a little problematic because one of the differentiators was that mindfulness culture can also be a source of pressure. So using the word mindful in the identity transformation means that nuance hasn't really come through, and it's actually tapping into essentially part of the problem and framing that as a solution. That bit missed the mark, but overall, in terms of what we gave it as the initial idea, and what it's come back with in literally minutes, that's a really solid starting point. If you were just trying to put a nice framework around your idea, this free plan is actually pretty good. I would use this with my new ideas to help give me that little bit of clarity and zoomed out view of what I'm doing. It would be a really good tool to get you part of the way. All right, now let's see if we can turn this into an actual website and see how far the paid plan can take us. If you're someone who can use a plan like this at the free level to just clarify your ideas a bit better, please hit that subscribe button. I test tools like this all the time so you can find the gold and make sure you're not wasting your time on the bad ones. And look, having the BrandScript is cool, but what I really care about is the stuff I can start to put in front of customers right away. So I'm going to try and create a campaign. I need to start a trial. I want to do monthly, so this is $49 per month, and I've got a 7-day free trial to give it a go. We've come back to the BrandScript we just created, and now I'm going to try and create a new campaign off that. Let's see what we do. We'll start with a tagline, website wireframe, one-liner, and a lead gen PDF. Website wireframe, let's go. Oh, it's just creating it straight in. All right. That was easy. All right, so the website builder tool was not what I thought it was. I thought it would build a website. What it's actually done is given me the content to go into a website. It's basically given you the different sections, and then you would take this and put it into your own website. Embrace calm intentionally. Are you ready to pause and reflect? Subscribe now. Subscribe now to me reads digital products, but this is a physical subscription that's mailed out to you. So I wonder if it needs something more than that, but maybe that could be conveyed by imagery. All right, I've definitely seen worse websites. It's a tried and tested structure, and it is nice that it's got all the text written for you. If you're the kind of person who's an overthinker, something like this could be valuable because from what I can see here, what it's spitting out is like 80 to 90% of what a non-marketing expert could produce, right? Like I am absolutely sure that there are marketing and branding professionals that can do a much stronger job. But if you don't have the budget for that and you're trying to do it yourself, this tool will get you a good way there. This is decent. Next is the lead generating PDF. They're not letting AI just do anything. It's putting it into their framework that presumably has been created by Donna Miller. This is a tool that has been built for purpose. The AI, it's part of the product, but it isn't the product itself. And that's what I really like to see in these AI tools, is that the actual value comes from something outside of the AI. The AI is just a mechanism to help digest it. And that's what this is doing really well. It has produced a big wall of text, which I presume you're meant to take and make into a nice visual PDF. There's nothing in here that's earth-shattering, but I asked an AI to create something very generic. The founder would need to put her own spin and viewpoint to make it something unique. I don't know whether I'd be rushing out to pay for this tool for this specific feature, but if I was paying for this tool for everything else, it's worth keeping in mind. Let's move on quickly to the one-liner, and it's asking me about the additional benefits that the customer receives. Joy are beautiful tactile things. The whole reason this is a subscription box and not an email is because you get that tactile thing in your mail. And she wanted to capture the joy that you had when you were a little kid and you got a letter. So I want to see if AI can understand that sort of very nostalgic feeling. So this is what it's come up with. Overall, it's trying to do too much. The sentence is long and it's cramming multiple ideas together, and the audience definition just feels a bit off. I do like that it's picked up on the tactile hands-on element because that's the real differentiator, but it's mixing that with this calm reflection and just overcomplicating what should be a sharp, snappy one-liner. And then last but not least, we have a tagline. So let's just see what it generates. Oh, I definitely don't like the aspirational one. Tranquil woman you aspire to be. What is that? What is that? I don't know any woman who aspires to be tranquil. I think they would like everyone around them to be tranquil, but that is not aspirational to me for sure. I don't like that one. Abstract tagline, moments of calm await within your reach. I actually quite like that. Because of the word reach, it does involve that physical element. Find clarity in every thoughtful pause. That one's inching into that mindfulness and productivity zone that this product is trying to differentiate itself from. All right, so now the big question, is StoryBrand AI worth your $49 and your time? After using this tool to build a brand from scratch, here's exactly who could benefit from it and who shouldn't bother. First of all, if you're a professional copywriter, this tool is going to feel a bit generic. It was very good at concise, simple language, but it doesn't have that extra spark that makes marketing campaigns really exceptional. The free version will help you articulate those 7 points, which are a really strong case for any sort of brand strategy. In terms of the paid features, the structure is good. The things they're prompting you to create are good. They're proper midline. If you were the kind of person who is overthinking everything, this is a really good way to shake you out of that process and just get you something that you know you can rely on. If you are a founder and you have spent more than 3 days thinking about how to explain your brand or your idea, this tool could be really valuable. If this saves you a month of hesitation and overthinking and you can knock it all out in a day and move on with your business, that's $49 well spent. It will absolutely turn 0 to 1 in 20 minutes of your time. It's a solid B+. Here's the catch. A really good brand strategy is only as good as the business that's behind it. So now you've got the messaging right with this tool, but is your actual business plan right for the market? That's what I'm breaking down next week in my video. I'm going to cover exactly what I would do if I was starting a business from scratch in 2026. If you want that blueprint, please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. I'll see you next week.